Good morning, YouTube. How y'all doing this morning? Funneybone here. And I'm going to try to do this video this morning. I'm going to dedicate this video to my aunt, Barbara Littles, who passed away about an hour ago. Very instrumental in raising me, and was always there for Funneybone. And I used to live with her, my grandma, my granddad, and it was fun, a lot of fun. Me and her had a real good connection. And I remember one time my aunt could sing really well known in this area for singing. And she told me one day, people used to put her down to sing at everybody that we know's funeral, and she said she didn't like singing while people were sad. And I told her, I said, listen, these people getting you because how well you can sing. They want to hear you sing at their loved one's funeral. So you take that as an honor. And she did. She did that until she couldn't. And she was very strong, very opinionated, and that was just T. We call all our aunties T, short for auntie, or aunt. She was one of a kind. She married my uncle, who he died 2007, and it was hard then, but got through it. But Sanctuary, rest in peace, baby. I know you'll be waiting on me, and it's unreal. Alzheimer's is deadly, people. You watch your loved one go from lively to just being there. Both my grandmothers died from that. My aunt, she died from that this morning. The people, I'm dedicating that video to her, but I try to be upbeat when stuff is bad. I try to be, and this story here was funny to me, and I wanted y'all to listen to it. And people always try to make it seem like they're more than what they are. Deception is real, people. People always try to deceive. And the higher up that people go, a lot of times you see that they got there by being deceitful. JD Vance is one of them. I'm going to let y'all see what I'm talking about. JD Vance used to insult Barack Obama for a long time. But Barack Obama has just gotten the last laugh. Y'all take a listen.
His living rooms. It's 11:35, and somewhere in a Yale Law School administrative office, a filing cabinet just burst into flames. Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, and tonight's story is so beautifully crafted by the comedy gods that I briefly considered retiring after this monologue because nothing will ever top it.
Oh, man.
You know how some nights we have to work hard for a joke, digging through policy papers and transcripts? Tonight's not one of those nights. Tonight, the joke delivered itself to our doorstep like an uninvited but welcome pizza. It rang the doorbell, walked in, sat on our couch and said, "Hey, want to hear something hilarious about JD Vance's Yale law degree?" And America collectively leaned forward. Yes, we do.
To elect someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you and hears you and will get up every single day and fight for you.
So here's what happened. Barack Obama was giving a speech at a fundraiser in Chicago. Standard Obama stuff. Democracy, civic engagement, education, you know. Then someone from the audience asked Obama about JD Vance's attacks on elite institutions while he himself attended Yale Law. A normal politician would have given a diplomatic answer. But Obama? He's not a normal politician. Obama's been watching Vance attack him for years, sitting in Martha's Vineyard, reading Vance's tweets like, interesting, very interesting. Obama smiled and said, it's funny you mention Yale because I have some interesting info about Senator Vance's time there. The room went quiet as Obama pulled out a manila folder, the kind you buy at Staples.
Well, what was their reaction? That's one of my 5 questions.
So he may up the ante in anti-Muslim sentiment, but if you look at what the other Republican candidates have said, that's pretty troubling too.
And I don't know if you understand, but the casualness of that folder only made it more devastating. Obama said, when you spend 8 years as president, you make certain connections. Sometimes those connections send you certain things. He opened the folder. Certain things like academic records.
I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously. That he might come to feel the weight of the office and discover some reverence for the democracy that had been placed in his care.
The gas from the room could have powered a wind turbine. Obama continued, these are the records of one James David Vance from his time at Yale Law. First, Obama says, let's talk about admission. He pulled out a paper. Vance was admitted through Yale's Geographic Diversity Initiative. Translation, he got in because of where he's from, not his academic credentials. Vance benefited from affirmative action for Appalachians. The room exploded. Vance spent years attacking affirmative action, but here he was, a beneficiary of it. The irony was so thick, you could use it as insulation. But Obama wasn't done. Oh no, Obama had more. He flipped to another page. Vance graduated with a 2.87 GPA from Yale Law, and let's just say that's not a GPA to write home about. At Yale, 2.87 is the kind of GPA that makes you wonder how you didn't get kicked out. Obama casually added, I'm not saying grades are everything, but if you're going to champion meritocracy, your grades should reflect something other than scraping by.
People, let me comment on that a little bit. Do this sound familiar? Do this sound like one Donald J. Trump? Yeah. Donald Trump the same as this heathen. They don't know how to watch paint dry. Pathetic. You think he's going to be any better than Donald Trump? He's not. He'll hide better than Donald Trump. Now, I give him credit. He's not going to be irrational and stupid as Donald Trump. But guess what? He's going to be more dangerous because he's going to be more calculating, smarter. But he better walk a thin line. Thin line. But isn't this familiar, people? Donald Trump the same. Struggled in college because they didn't take college serious. They was pushed through, taking 2 people's spot that should have been there. The evidence shows it. Taking 2 spots. And listen, it is even worse.
Years, in Chuck Schumer's case for literally decades, we've heard them say you don't shut the government down over policy disagreement. Okay, Republicans think this thing about healthcare, that thing about healthcare. Democrats think this thing about immigration, Republicans disagree. Whatever those disagreements are, you don't shut down the government over.
Then Obama pulled out attendance records. Vance missed 43% of his classes during his second year.
43% of the class.
Obama asked, What's more relatable to real Americans, skipping half your classes or showing up for class? The crowd had its answer. Next, Obama revealed that Vance's first job after Yale was secured through a letter from a Yale professor who admitted he was recommending Vance because he had a compelling personal narrative.
Wow.
And by the way, he's from Kentucky, which I understand is a real place. The room erupted. This is how Yale Law School saw JD Vance. Not as a brilliant legal mind, but as a diversity asset with an interesting story.
And I joke that I took 2 wrong turns and I ended up, I remember at the time thinking, I wish that I had something profound to say.
JD Vance's staff, watching the live stream, were probably rewriting their resumes. Within minutes, JD Vance's campaign issued a statement denying Obama's claims. These records are private, they said. The allegations are unverified and likely fabricated, which, by the way, was an admission in itself. Likely fabricated doesn't exactly say it's fake. JD Vance then posted a video. He was in his Senate office dressed in a suit but no tie, because clearly this was casual, like a conversation about how his entire career might be a fraud.
It is.
I want to be clear, he said. My academic records are private. They were obtained illegally. So by the way, he just admitted that the records were real. His big defense? That grades aren't everything, and that he worked hard despite his grades. He even compared himself to Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Yeah, JD Vance, the man who graduated with a 2.87, is comparing himself to 2 of the world's greatest entrepreneurs. Classic. But the best part was when Vance tried to downplay missing half his classes by saying he was getting real-world experience. Real world. According to his memoir, he was busy dating, eating at Applebee's, and building relationships. That's not real-world experience. That's skipping class and trying to pass off your social life as self-improvement. Meanwhile, Obama's manila folder was still sitting there, quietly destroying JD Vance's entire political persona. 3 days later, Yale issued a statement confirming the authenticity of the documents Obama had shown. It was subtle, but it was clear. The documents appear consistent with official records. That was basically Yale saying, yeah, those are real. JD Vance was done, but JD Vance wasn't done. He went on a posting spree, 47 posts in 2 days, each angrier and more delusional than the last. His final act? A late-night video in which he wore a Yale Law t-shirt and cried on camera while trying to defend his entire political career. It was the most uncomfortable thing you'll ever watch, and that's saying something. By the end of the week, the phrase, "your degree is fake," was everywhere. It was on t-shirts, memes, billboards, even cookies shaped like diplomas. JD Vance's approval rating dropped, and his political allies started to distance themselves. Fast forward to JD Vance's attempt at a reset. He gave a speech at the Supreme Court, but it was a disaster. Protesters showed up with signs that read, 2.87 and show us your transcript. Every time Vance mentioned standards or qualifications, the crowd burst out laughing. He had become a national joke. And so, what started with a simple manila folder ended with JD Vance's political career imploding. He wanted to be the voice of the working class, but instead, he became the poster child for failing upward, benefiting from the systems you later attack.
People, let me ask y'all something. Like I said, do that sound familiar as one Donald Trump? Yes. They call that privilege. In the South, they call it, it's a traditional term. You know, it's a color thing. He dumb as a rock, but he got connection, he'll be good. Let's not worry about the 2 people that they took opportunities from in college that didn't get in because they let those 2 weasels slide in there. Proof is in the pudding. Like I said, people, we got Nimrods running this country. They don't know how to do nothing but lie, steal, cheat. Everything bad they know how to do. Nothing good. What are they good at? They thought they were good at deception, and they was for a while. But when you're discovered, you're done. Then they go back and see the real you. They go back and investigate you. So Mr. Vance won't be no better than Donald Trump. He just won't be as irrational and boisterous and dummy like Donald Trump. But he still needs to be watched, and they know that. And he will be watched. Trust me. It's a different Congress. It's a different Senate. It's a different House of Representatives. Because of this one tyrannical idiot, con man. Donald Trump is going to go down as the number one person that's ever been a threat to the United States. He's going to be worse than the more famous spy of them all. Do y'all know who the most famous spy of them all? Benedict Arnold. I think Donald Trump is worse than Benedict Arnold. But people, y'all have a lovely day. Like I said, I dedicate this video to my aunt Barbara Littles. She got her wings this morning. May you rest in peace, my sweet angel. Until I see you again, Funneybone will forever love you. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for me. And that's a lot. That covers a lot of ground. Because she's done a lot. So take your rest, baby. I know now you singing for the Lord and Jesus Christ. Funneybone love you. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. JD Vance or Froster. Point blank period. Funneybone love y'all. Try to go back over there with the family. See how everybody's coping. Y'all pray for the Littles family. McMeans family. Funneybone love y'all.